Hello and welcome to Gain Expert Status with Hangouts on air and live stream broadcasting. So, are you looking for the fastest path to grow a loyal list of followers and become recognized as a leading authority? If so, I can't wait to introduce you to Virginia Parsons. She is the founder of Hangout Marketing University, which provides beginning to advanced training and certification for Hangout marketing and live stream technology. She is known as the Hangout Mentor, and she has proven marketing and course creation strategies to help coaches, speakers, and entrepreneurs reach new heights of visibility and social influence. And we are so lucky to have her today. She is also the executive producer of and host of the weekly WebTV show called the Inspirational Business Women Show, which provides tips and strategies and advice to grow your business. Today, Virginia will share the power of Hangouts on air and live streaming platforms to help you brand, grow, and market your business. You'll discover why the benefits of mastering web technology outweigh the challenges, and Virginia will also reveal her top live stream promotion and monetization strategies to help you gain reputation and expert status. And this is like the third time I've done this between Virginia and a couple other people, and it is some really cool technology. So I'll be excited for all of you guys to learn it. Virginia, thank you. Take it away.
Well, thank you, Juliet. It's great to be here. I love sharing this information because I think it's the hottest branding and marketing strategy available for people today. So if you are an entrepreneur or an author or anyone who's looking to extend your reach out to a larger audience, to grow your fan base and to make those fans loyal and trusting, because you know there's nothing better than video to connect and create quick and trusting relationships, then this type of platform is for you. So I'm going to be talking about a lot of different ways that you can use live stream video and live stream broadcasting, because it's my passion. It is something that I discovered several years ago and then took off with it. I'd like to start with letting you know that I spent about 25 years as a hypnotherapist and life coach. And so I'm used to working with people one-on-one and doing it face-to-face. And I had an office, you know, that where people came to me. And as my reputation grew, I had people wanting to work with me from different parts of the country. And that's not practical for coming to a face-to-face within an office environment. So several years ago, I closed my office down and fell in love with Hangouts on air as the go-to tool for my business. And I had so many people saying, how do you do that? How do you make that look so easy and professional? And before I knew it, my whole coaching had transformed into coaching and assisting individuals with how they can use all these live stream platforms to brand, grow, and market their business. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And I want to thank all of you for coming and watching the show, whether or not you see this in live stream, which I hope there's a group of you that are here live, because I would love to interact with you. I'd love to take your questions and respond to them. Or if you are watching this in replay mode, no problem as well, because the comment section is right below this video. And all you need to do is type in the comment section any questions that you have now or in the future. I will receive those questions and I'll get back to you and answer them for you. So I'd love to have this be as interactive as possible. And just know that I'm available in the future to answer your questions. So, Juliet, I would like to just talk with you for a moment and find out a little bit about the people who have been exposed to what I'm doing, and so that I can gear the presentation to their needs. So share with me a little bit about the audience you've shared this with. You have to unmute yourself.
I'm trying to. Can you hear me now? Okay, there we go. You know what? Author platform builders are people who, most of my people are people who are trying to establish themselves as experts in writing books. And what I teach that they interact with is building that platform and understanding that you can't become a known quantity unless you have a platform. And for most coaches, you know, that requires that they really get out of their shell and do something like this, or a podcast, or, you know, even guest blogging. But these interactive things are better because I can see you, I can find you, know you, trust you. You know, I know you're not some homeless guy on the street pretending to be a life coach. And that's really, you know, where it is. The same with the podcast. But I really like this. I've done it with you a couple times, and it's just an awesome way to connect with people.
Well, that helps a lot. Thank you. And for all of you authors, whether or not you've got a book now or you're going to be publishing a book, be aware that also, I'll talk about this in a while, you can use this technology to write your book. That's the way I've done it. It's fast, it's easy, it's authentic, and it's just another great way you can use this tool. So when people see me on a Hangout, which is what we're on today, this is called a Hangout on Air. It is sponsored through Google, and Google also has something called regular Hangouts. Now, a regular Hangout is simply a video call where you just call back and forth with your buddies, and those are great. But they are not as sophisticated and don't offer as many options as a Hangout on Air. So first of all, I want you to know that the live stream platform that we're using today is Hangouts on Air. It is my favorite. I call it the Cadillac, or whatever your high-end automobile might be, of live stream broadcasting. And I haven't seen anything else come along that even comes close to competing with it. I am also going to be talking today about other live stream platforms, however, because they're out there. They might be the platform of the day kind of thing. So you want to know about them as well, because those are ways to reach your audience that you might not have through Google Hangouts. So what I was talking about is that these live stream platforms are incredible. They offer so many different ways for you to brand, grow, and market your business. So I really want you to think about taking advantage of them, because they are the best, the fastest, and the easiest way for you to grow your platform. So when you're talking about authors growing their platform, this is by far the fastest way they're going to be able to do that. So what I've done is prepared for you a little presentation, and we're going to talk about these things. And as you are watching on the event page, please go ahead and put your comments in there. That would be terrific. And then, Juliet, if we want to give them the link to come back inside the Hangout, we can do that, and they can also join and ask questions in what I would call the after presentation. How does that sound?
Let me unmute myself.
Okay. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take us over to the actual presentation. This will be somewhat formal, but again, I will stop in the middle of it and answer any questions that might come up for Juliet, or if Juliet sees any of your questions on the event page, then you can leave those questions there and I'll respond to those as well. So what we're talking about today is live stream promotion and monetization strategy so that you can gain expert status. So if you've got a book or you're thinking about writing a book, isn't it important that you gain that expert status? You've got the book already. So keep that in mind. How can I get it out there to multiple people who are my ideal audience? And the live stream promotion strategies that I'm going to share with you are really going to be a great way to do that. Okay, so why should we use it? Why should we even consider using live stream marketing to build your platform so that you can shine and get noticed? And that's, really what I'm all about. Sort of my motto is step out of your shadow and shine as the go-to expert using Hangouts on Air and other forms of live stream broadcasting. But before we're done, I'm also going to show you all the other ways you can use live stream broadcasting that have nothing to do with being live. And I think you're going to find that very interesting. So those of you who might be a little intimidated saying, I don't know if I want to get on a camera and do this live to the world, don't worry. Quite frankly, you don't have to, but you can still use these platforms in amazing ways to build what I call your product assets, to get out there and coach with people. So we're going to be talking about a lot of this in just a moment. So first of all, why use it? Why should you think about using live stream broadcasting and marketing to shine and get noticed? Well, as I said earlier, it is the hottest new technology to brand and market your business. You also are going to very quickly increase your authority as the expert, as the leader in your niche. Now, you're also going to have increased engagement with your audience. And I love this part. The engagement is so, so important. So think about how can I reach my people and let them know that I want to engage with them. I don't just want to be out there being a talking head, which is kind of what I feel like right now. So I hope you will engage with us. But I really want you to be able to interact. You're important. And you want your audience, the platform you're building, the people who are coming to your platform, you want them to know that they're important. So this engagement factor is huge. I can't emphasize it enough. Now, how about growing raving fans and loyal followers? You will do that much more quickly when there is a face, a voice, and a what I call live connection with your audience. Then you're going to have loyal followers. They're going to be your best fans. They can end up being what I call your best ambassadors for what you do. Now, the social influence that you gain is also remarkable because, again, as you start to use these platforms, if you start to use this technology, your social influence will grow by leaps and bounds. I can't tell you how quickly that happens. And part of that is going to be what I talk about, leveraging yourself on the bottom, where you actually have SEO advantages, search engine optimization advantages by using these platforms, so that you can very quickly rise to the top of Google in your niche if you start using it effectively and consistently. So think about leveraging your time and the assets that you'll be able to create. Right now, we're creating what I call a video asset. It's live. We are here, and I'm broadcasting. By the way, I'm just going to take a little quick break and tell you where I'm broadcasting from. I'm broadcasting from beautiful Reno, Nevada. And so this is a Reno in the background, and I'm in my home office. I love that I can work from home and look out the window and see the mountains. Although this is an image, the mountains right now are filled with snow, and they're absolutely beautiful to look at. So, just think about just where you can broadcast from and the ease of broadcasting that way. So people become familiar with you, they recognize you, you get the familiarity, and you get that search engine optimization advantage because with Hangouts and Air in particular, they're a product of Google, and they also simultaneously broadcast on YouTube. So if they're broadcasting on YouTube and they're broadcasting on Google, you have the advantage of what I call Google Juice because Google owns YouTube. So it just pushes your videos in your niche, particularly if you optimize them correctly, both before the live broadcast and then again after the live broadcast has turned into a video. You can get the familiarity and the boosting in your rankings, and you'd be surprised how quickly you might be able to rise to the top of Google search in your niche. So you can't really underestimate the value of that. So I'm going to pause for a moment. Juliet, go ahead and unmute yourself and let me know if you have any comments or response to this first slide.
Talk a little bit, you talked about SEO. I don't think my people really understand that when they use this component with their website, that Google loves this. It's content, and it really helps them get to the top. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. I think it's just really important to, at this point, understand that SEO with video is the hottest thing going. It gets ranked faster than anything. So what you're doing with your broadcast is you are creating a video. So it's live right now. But the other thing is, the more interaction you get with your broadcast, both live and later, in follow-up views and comments as well, the more Google juice it's going to get. And as a result, the faster it will rank. And I'm going to give you an example of this because I did this with my first activity on Hangouts. I created something called the Savvy Shopper Show, and it was fun. I had so much fun with it, and I was teaching people savvy ways to get the best deals online because, you know, the trend now is online marketing. And, you know, what I discovered was that my ranking for Savvy Shopper went right to the top of the search engines in about a month, and I'd only done 4 shows. Now, by the way, if you do a search for your own keywords, make sure you do it incognito. It's another tip for you that you can, if you're in Google Chrome, don't search with your standard search bar. Click on and open up an incognito window, then search, so that Google doesn't bias the search toward who you are. Otherwise, you'll find yourself very quickly to the top of the search engine, and that's not authentic. That's not organic. We're looking for organic SEO. Does that answer that for you, Juliet?
Yeah, it did. And also the, you know, I don't think people realize that a Google Hangout is part of the, I mean, yeah, the Google Hangout is part of Google and goes right to YouTube as well if you mark it as a public event. So, you know, it can be instantly, like the minute you finish, it's up on YouTube.
You've got it. Exactly. And that is, you're right, for public events. And we're going to talk about the advantage of public versus events that are not public, or what we call unlisted or private, and the advantages and disadvantages, and how and when you use all of those. All right, so let's go ahead and go into the next slide. And I just will emphasize here, it's free. How about that? Why should you use it? It's free. How many programs have you gone out there and paid your hard-earned dollars for? And unfortunately, so many sit on the shelf. It makes me sad. But this is free technology. So to me, nothing beats live streaming video. You know, video's been hot for a long time, and I don't think it's going away anytime soon. But the live streaming aspect is what is so powerful because, again, people feel a connection with you, and you have an opportunity to engage with them. So thank you for those of you who have found the event page. We appreciate it. Yes, we can see your comments, and Juliet will keep an eye on them. And if you have questions, I will respond to them. All right, let's go on to the next slide then. So let's talk about branding strategies, because if you are building a platform, the whole point is, how do I brand myself? And so the point is that you do want to get recognized and be consistent in your branding. One of the sad things I see in people who do produce events, whether or not it's on a Hangout or on air, or the now new broadcasting platform of the day, which is Blab, or maybe Periscope, is that they don't brand themselves consistently. So they're just doing broadcasts, but they're not pulling it all together with an image or some way of linking all of your work together that looks consistent. And that's what branding is all about. So let's talk about that. All right, so custom thumbnails. Custom thumbnails are actually something that we did. We started this broadcast with a thumbnail. I'm going to take you back and show you that thumbnail. And thumbnails vary depending on your brand, but this is the thumbnail that we created for this particular show. Now, this thumbnail is also going to end up being an option as a thumbnail for the final product, which is the recorded video on YouTube. So think about how you can use custom thumbnails to brand, grow, and market yourself so that people see that thumbnail and immediately associate it with you as the expert. So custom thumbnails are great to use. Now, another thing that you can think about using is custom branded event banners. And we also did that today. So those of you watching this either in the replay mode or live here today, look above the broadcast that you're seeing, and you'll see an event banner. And that event banner is consistent with the thumbnail that we created. So you're creating consistency, you're creating branding that people start to identify. Now let's go into another way you can brand yourself, and that is a custom lower third. Now you see here that I have a custom lower third. the name of my company's website is hangoutmarketingu.com. And I'm known as the Hangout Mentor, as Juliet talked about early in the introduction. And so it's great to know that people can see your lower third and immediately say, well, where can I get more information about this person? Well, you can see here that you can get more information about what I do and the mentoring that I do at hangoutmarketingu.com. So creating a lower third is important. You'll also see that I have my Shine logo on there because, again, my passion is to help people step out of their shadow and shine as the go-to expert in their area, in their niche. So custom lower thirds are really one of the most important items I think you can use when you're broadcasting. And the one place you can really use them effectively is on Hangouts on Air. They're not naturally available on Blab, although when I do a Blab, I have more advanced techniques where my custom lower third shows up. But just be aware that these lower thirds can be as simple as what is provided right by Google. And they're very basic, but they get the job done, or you can go into something custom like I do because that helps brand me even further. All right, how about branded transparent overlays? Well, actually, you're looking at an overlay right now. I have got the slideshow or the PowerPoint in here in an overlay. So you've got me in the camera so that I can still stay connected to you. You know, one of my pet peeves is watching a PowerPoint and no one else is there. So that's why, you know, I'm not really fond of things like, you know, GoToWebinar, which people use so much. There is a place to put the image with a GoToWebinar now, but it's not the same as being able to do it right here, where I can really have the contact with you and you can see what I'm talking about and take notes if you want. And I hope you're taking some notes today. All right, what else can we do to brand ourselves? Well, what about a preview trailer? I create preview trailers for every one of my shows. The show that I produce on a weekly basis, I'd love to have you join me and check it out, is the Inspirational Business Women Show. And the Inspirational Business Women Show airs live every Monday at noon Pacific. And you can let me know if you want to check it out, watch it live, or of course you can watch it in replay mode as well. But I do a branded preview trailer for every one of my shows, and I'm going to give you an example of what that looks like. Because a preview trailer, even if you just do a simple little recording of yourself talking about what the show is going to be about, or if you do something more sophisticated like I do, it's about telling the potential audience what's in it for them. Why might they want to watch? So I'm going to give you the preview trailer. It's only going to take about a minute. And this is for my show coming up on Monday. And I did a preview trailer for Juliet as well when I had her on my show last month. But this is an example of a preview trailer that you can use to brand, grow, and expand your visibility. So here we go with the preview trailer. Okay, so that's a preview trailer, and you know, they can be simple or they can be a little more techy. What I just used, I'm going to give you, if you want to write this down, if you want to learn a little bit about making kind of a fun techy preview trailer, I created this in Animato. It is a service that makes it quite easy to make some fun preview trailers. And you can get it free if you want to make a 30-second trailer. I happen to have the paid for version. But no, they're not all that difficult. It's like learning any other kind of software in the beginning. You know, you have to fumble around until you learn it. But after that, it's pretty quick and easy. So they're not difficult to make. But remember, a preview trailer, again, can be as simple as you just jumping onto whatever live stream platform you're recording from. And again, I recommend Hangouts on Air, and just recording something quick. Now, it won't be public. You're just going to sort of have a hangout with yourself, record that preview trailer, and off you go. You've got it now, and you can now post the preview trailer all over all the social media networks. And I'm going to talk about this a lot more because I want you to understand the strategies for branding yourself and getting out there and promoting yourself. So, Juliet, any other questions coming up regarding that?
None regarding that, but Zaz says he's lost his comment shot on the screen because he has some questions.
He's lost his comments. They should be there if he's on the site to the link that you gave him. They're going to be there. So if you are seeing his comments that he's lost his comments, he's putting something in the comment section.
No, I'm seeing him on Facebook, actually. So you know what? I'll go back while you go ahead, and I'll find out what his questions are and bring them over to you.
Okay, sounds great, Julia. Great. Thanks. All right, let's move on then, because I've got lots to share with you, and this is power-packed information, and I just don't want you to miss out on it. I really want you to see the advantages of using this technology. So let's talk about audience reach strategies. Oh my gosh, this is so important. If you're expanding your author platform, right, you want to reach more people. Well, previews, what I just showed you was a preview, a great way to reach. Now, what I do with that preview is I will upload it to Facebook. It will be on Facebook. I will post it on my Hangout Mentor page. So by the way, if you want to follow me on Facebook, head on over to Hangout Mentor and follow me. I'd love it. Like me and keep in touch, because I put lots of great tips and broadcasts over there. So, you know, just upload the video there. Another way that you can reach people is to do what I call a pre-show. Now, what I like about the pre-show is it's letting people know what you're about to talk about. And in a pre-show that I did with Juliet, that's exactly what we did. We headed on over to Periscope. Now, Periscope is something that you're going to do not on your computer, but on your cell phone. So you could do it on your cell phone or your iOS device, your tablet or whatever. You cannot actually do a Periscope from your computer. Isn't that funny? Now, Periscope is owned by Twitter, and it's very popular. It's only been around, you know, not even quite a year now, and it's growing by leaps and bounds. You can also get your Periscopes and get them recorded, and then they're up for 12 hours live on the Periscope site, or you can download them and keep those. Again, you're creating another video asset if you download it and save it. But Periscope, doing that before the show is a great way to hit Twitter and say, come on over to the live broadcast over on Hangouts and hear the full interview. But what I like to do is go into the Hangout on Air green room, and with my guest, in this case, it was Juliet, and we talked to the people on Periscope about what we were going to be talking about on the Hangout. It's a great way to reach more people and be invitational to them. Come on over and join us. Now, very often I do the after show in Blab. Now, what is an after show? An after show is a time also for people to write in their questions or jump right on the screen, just like we had a few people that jumped into the after show before we'd started the after show. That's it. You can come on into the after show, or you can come on over to Blab, and inside Blab, you can either jump on the screen if you want or type your questions in there. But it's a great way to increase interaction with your audience. So whether or not you do an after show on Blab or like I used to do an after show right in the Hangout where I invite people to come inside the Hangout with me, just like Juliet and I are here. Then they can come in and ask their questions, and we have a chat. We do a talk with them, and it's really nice. It's a great way to interact with your audience. Simulcasting. Oh my gosh, this is so powerful. I love sharing this information with you. When I set up my broadcast, when I set up my Hangout on Air Inspirational Business Women Show, I get the embed codes for it, and I simulcast it all over the place. So it's not just that it's happening on the Google Plus page, the event page, but it is happening out there over 7 different platforms. And it's neat because your people are different places. I simulcast on LinkedIn. I simulcast on my own Hangout Mentor app. So that's a quick little gift I'm going to give to you. If you would like to get your own Hangout Mentor app, it's totally free. Just go to the Apple Store or the Google Play Store and search Hangout Mentor. You can download that app for free, and I put my shows right up there. So that's another place people can watch it live. They can, now on that app, they can watch it off their desktop, or they can grab their cell phone and watch it there. They can watch it on their tablet. The reason we don't have that available here today is because this is a semi-private event. So I'm putting that out as a public event. Then I'm simulcasting in 7 different places. I'm simulcasting on Facebook. I'm simulcasting a course on my own website. And if you're working with building your platform, think also about how you might have a partner, a joint venture visionary join you and have them simulcast. Now you're really leveraging yourself because they can simulcast all over as well. It's really exciting stuff. So, okay, Juliet, any questions about audience reach strategies?
Hold on.
There you go.
I know I'm like going back and forth between different screens here because a couple people are having problems with the chat. How did you do this? I mean, I'm looking at 7 different platforms and just saying, oh my gosh, this is so overwhelming. Did you do this one at a time and just learn them and start adding? Or, I mean, I guess that's really the only way you can do it, isn't it?
Well, some of them are obvious. You're simulcasting on YouTube, for one thing. Okay. Automatically when you're doing a Hangout on Air. So that's one of the, you don't have to take any extra time to do that. It happens naturally. For these others, it's simply a matter of getting the embed code that is provided for you by the Google Hangout. Once you set the event up, it gives you an embed code. So now you just have to, if you've never done embed codes, it's not hard. You just copy the embed code and paste it wherever you want it to be simulcasting. So let's say you wanted to simulcast on your blog. So you just take that embed code, and if you don't know how to do it, give it to your web person and they'll put it up for you and it'll simulcast there. And of course, you can also put a whole different type of comments up on your blog if you want to. So we have comments here that are coming through the Google Plus event page. And yet you can also set up Facebook comments. Those are more advanced. But yeah, I didn't learn how to do the simulcast on LinkedIn until, I don't know, about 6 or 8 months ago. And the simulcasting on Facebook, I do through an app called 22 Social, I think it's called, 22 Social. So yeah, a lot of different places that you can do it, and you don't worry about doing this all at once. I'm trying to give you a big picture of why you want to explore this technology to build your platform. And these are just some of the strategies that you can use. Awesome. The other thing I would add to this, Juliet, is that don't feel you have to pick up and use every one of these broadcasting platforms to begin with. You know, a lot of people find Blab the easiest. Well, probably Periscope the easiest, but it's just you talking to your camera and people are typing in underneath. Mm-hmm. But with Blab, you've got also, you know, that's a little easier to start with, but you don't have the branding capability with Blab. So I say if you're going to make a decision, start with one, start with Hangouts on Air, because you will not regret learning how to use this technology.
Great, thank you.
All right, so let's move on. So how about some pitfalls? Yeah, I want to be real honest with you to say there are also some pitfalls. You know, this is not just a walk in the park all the time. There are some things that come up that sometimes can drive you a little crazy. But if you prepare for them ahead of time, it won't be a problem. So let's talk about some of them. First of all, if you're going to have a guest on your show and you don't vet the guest, what I say, properly prepare the guest and make sure that they're set up correctly in the beginning, then that's a fault of yours. That is a pitfall that you could have. If you just invite a guest to come into a hangout and they're just not you haven't talked about what you're going to be discussing on the show and the format of the show, then your show's not going to come across as polished, and therefore it's not going to build the viewership and the viewer loyalty that it could. So vet your guests. Make sure you do a practice run with them, especially if they've never done one of these live stream platforms before, so they can be comfortable. It's really hard to come on a show as a guest and feel so intimidated because you've never done this before that you can't focus on delivering quality content. So you, as the person who is providing this live stream broadcast, you need to vet your guests. That's one. Audio and camera issues, yes, they come up. I was working with a gal and doing a broadcast with a gal out of Hawaii. She just didn't have the camera set up in a way that broadcasts very well because she was really working with a landline. Can't do a landline very easily and end up with an effective broadcast. You just don't have the speed. So you need to go over audio problems. If their audio is not hooked up correctly, make sure they're using a good mic. I really recommend a mic. If you have a guest, I recommend that they do wear a headset so that you don't have echoing problems. I happen to use a mic that's a USB that's very high quality, so I don't need a headset. And it is, let me get in here, it's called the Yeti Blue. It's my favorite. It's my go-to mic. But you can get by just as well, in all honesty, with a headset from your phone, just like this, with a mic that's on it. So just make sure that you have all those things set up and ready to go before the broadcast. The other thing that you want to think about is coming into the broadcast green room. That's what I talk about before we actually hit the start broadcast and go live. We call this time in the Hangout the green room, and we're not recording. And that is the time to check all of these things to make sure everything's working correctly. So those are some issues you want to take care of ahead of time. Now, bandwidth I already referred to, and RAM limitations. RAM, your random access memory, is what is available in your computer. If you don't have a very powerful computer, that could limit you a bit on the effectiveness or whether or not you drop out of the live stream broadcast. So what I suggest to people is shut everything down. Do not have your email open or things you don't need to be running. No programs running in the background that you don't need, because that's going to suck some of your RAM. And you want all your RAM available for the broadcast. I even suggest that people who have limited RAM to actually reboot their computer, to start their computer over again right before the broadcast so that the memory is fresh. I had a man who was working with me, and he wanted to broadcast a video on his broadcast, and he couldn't get the video to play. And I couldn't understand why. There's no reason it shouldn't have played until he explained to me that he never turns his computer off. So if you never turn your computer off, you're never rebooting your RAM. He didn't have the memory to run the video and the broadcast at the same time. So these are just little issues that come up that I just want to give you a heads up on. Bandwidth. For a Hangout on Air, you need a little more bandwidth than you do for Blab, and the bandwidth is important. You need at least, I tell people, at least 3 Mbps's in both upload and download speed with your bandwidth. I like it if you're over 10 for sure. And it's also great if you can hardwire your computer to your router. You even have more stability and better speed. So you can check your bandwidth. You can go to speedtest.net and check your bandwidth before you start a broadcast. And if it's too low, you need to talk to your internet service provider and maybe get a better speed. Because if you're too low, your audio might fade in and out, your image might fade in and out. The video just is not going to be good viewing quality. So make sure you check that. And then the last pitfall I'm going to share with you here is, oh my gosh, you don't engage with the audience. You want to engage with the audience prior to, hey, come on over. We're going to have a great broadcast. I'd love to get your feedback. I want your questions. Engage with them before. And then during, as we are here wanting to see what your comments are, answering your questions. And then after the broadcast. Why would you just drop it? You've had people who come to your broadcast or interested in what you're sharing, and then you don't communicate with them anymore after? No, that's a big pitfall. Make sure you continue to communicate with your viewers after. Don't forget, a lot of people cannot attend your event live, but if you make it available for replay mode, you want to engage with them after as well, because they're going to be watching it after. So Juliet, I'm going to open it up to some more questions or comments from you.
Yeah, comments. I just want to mention to everybody, when you see these pitfalls, this is all part of making this happen. If you're doing a webinar or any sort of technology, you've got to expect there are going to be some failures, and don't get upset about it. It happens. Your viewers aren't going to opt out. They realize that when you're doing this, that all of these things is going to happen, and it's just part of your being authentic. I think sometimes they enjoy being part of your journey on the learning curve. So I just want to mention that, because Periscope for me was super scary. And I watched some guys after I did mine and thought it was scary. I watched them get on and knock over their camera, and you could see the chaos in the room. And it was funny, because then I didn't feel like such an idiot. So, just be aware that nobody's laughing or judging you if you have technical difficulties.
No, as a matter of fact, they're all empathetic and supporting you and cheering you on. And the key is, don't panic about it. Even if you drop off of the broadcast, which people have done. I have very high speed internet, so I don't have that problem. I think I had it once. You just jump back into the broadcast. That's all. People will wait. And just, let people know, if you're new at this, say, I'm new at this, but I'm so excited because it just gives me another way to connect with you and give you valuable content. And people are going to understand. They're very, very, I think, supportive and non-judgmental for the most part. So you do it, even though you might be scared. In the beginning, I know the first one I did of my Savvy Shopper show, oh, my heart's pounding like this, and I'm so nervous, and my mouth is dry, and then I realized, oh, I only had a couple of viewers anyway, and they were fine, and it all went fine. But in the beginning, the nice thing about Hangouts and Air is you can practice and do several little practice rounds without going live, or you can do them to a very small audience. Maybe you have a focus group. You'd like to share some broadcasts with them, get their feedback. So you don't have to go live to the world the first time you do one of these in a Hangout on Air. If you are doing a Blab or a Periscope, yep, you're live. But that's okay. People understand. So just stay relaxed with it.
They do understand. And I want to mention, I was on a Blab yesterday with Carrie Roldan. And, she was saying, hey, if anybody knows how to solve our issue, and there were people over at the side saying, do this, do that. So, they're not only very forgiving, if they know more than you, they're glad to help you.
Yes, they are. And that's a great, great point. So I know I had someone do that for me one time, and I so appreciated it. It was right here in the comments section of the Hangout, and it solved the problem right away. You are so right about that, Juliet. Yeah, isn't that a great thing about people? Most people really want to support and uplift each other. I love that. Okay, any other comments? No, we're going to move on then to the next. Okay. Let's talk about live stream versus video, because a lot of people have said, well, I'm going to be doing videos. And I think it's great. Do videos. They're a good way to connect. They're a good way for people to get a sense of who you are. So if you're going to do nothing else, definitely start doing videos. But let's talk about the advantages of the live stream over just straight video that doesn't allow for audience interaction. And there it is. The first thing is audience interaction. So when you get the audience interaction, you get a feel for what they're looking for where their challenges are. So if you're working on a point, you can hone in on it deeper if they don't get it. If you're just doing a live stream video, or you're doing a video, excuse me, not a live stream, You don't have that opportunity. You have to anticipate what your audience needs to see. So again, that's why I love doing things live, even though there is the possibility that something might go awry. That's okay. By the way, don't worry about because once you produce it, you can also go edit your product after the live broadcast has happened. So that's another great advantage. You can edit video, whether or not it's from a live stream or it's from a regular video. Now, the next one is, we don't like to over rehearse things or script them. People don't want to feel like they're, they're having a script read to them. And I know in the beginning, I wanted to be really perfect. So I try and put a script up on the side and I try to read that. And I realize, whoa, I'm not reading the script. I'm not connecting with you. You really need to connect with your audience by connecting with your camera. So that's awkward at first because it feels funny to look at this camera. Well, what I've done is put a wonderful image behind my camera because my camera is on my monitor, which is up against a bookshelf. So from the bookshelf, I have suspended basically an image of, friends and people that I've worked with who support me and encourage me. And my goals are there and happy faces are there. And it just reminds me to smile, be myself, be relaxed, and remember I'm connecting with the audience through the camera. And that's what makes it so much easier to actually talk to you through the camera because I know you're on the other side of that camera and I can feel the connection just because I've made a practice of connecting with the camera. So I'm not rehearsed anymore. I'm not scripted. Yes, I have guidelines. Yes, right now you're seeing a PowerPoint presentation, but it's not, I don't know what I'm going to say with every cue that comes up. I'm just giving you what comes to me at the moment that I think is important for you to hear. So you're not scripted. People feel much more comfortable when you're just natural and authentic and not rehearsed. So that moves into authenticity. Be yourself. Do not try to be someone else. Don't go out there and watch other people do their shows and say, oh, I've got to do it like them. No, you don't. Go watch other shows so you can get ideas of how different people are producing shows. That's great. But do not try to take on someone else's persona. I know you all know this as authors anyway. Be yourself. Be genuine, be authentic, and people will relate to you for who you are. And you're going to draw those people who connect with you. They're going to want to find out more about what you do and want to see more about what you do. So here's the big part of it is that with live stream, yes, there's some vulnerability. So I say to people, you've got to be willing to stretch. You've got to be willing to move out of your comfort zone if you really want to make these connections and grow your platform faster and easier than you ever have before. You're going to have to be vulnerable. And that means getting out of your comfort zone and trying something you've never done before. So if you've never done a Hangout before, I suggest you try just practicing it, or maybe be a guest on someone else's show. That's a great way to get familiarized with it. That's just how Juliet has become familiarized. And then the person who's broadcasting the show can help guide you through it. Now, I do that, as I say, by when I vet all of my guests, I'm helping them get through that discomfort with the technology so they can just deliver their passion and their gifts to the world. But yes, you have to become a little vulnerable at first, anytime you try something new, right? And then the idea is that with live stream versus straight video, viewers will feel more connected with you and they'll become part of the experience. And that's what you want. You want them to be acknowledged. Now, when I do my live broadcast for the Inspirational Business Women Show, that's what we're doing. I'm actually bringing their comments up on the screen. I'm saying, thank you so much for being here. They're letting me know where they're hanging out from. We end up, seeing that we've got an international show with people from around the world. And that is helping them feel a part of it. And I think that's just very important. And again, builds loyalty. So it's better than video. Can you see the differences here? Juliet, any comments?
Yeah. Okay. Yay. I admitted myself well. Yeah. And, just another thing that I did to get really comfortable. I worked with someone last year before I met Virginia, and I practiced with him. We would just get into a Hangout and just practice, talking. so that I wasn't so stiff on them, because I really was like, you know, scared and a robot. And that helped a lot too. So if you have a spouse or some friends who are willing to spend some time with you and just be in a hangout, a private hangout, just so you can get comfortable with the whole process, it really helps.
Absolutely. It definitely does. And I totally encourage that. Great, great tip there, Juliet. All right. And finally, the big one, why I put this picture up here of the chipmunk pushing and leveraging that granite, is because there is no better way you can leverage Google and Twitter than by using the live stream platforms. Your videos will rank, but they won't rank as fast as a live stream will rank, even though it's become a video after. Don't forget, YouTube is, I guess, the #2 search engine that people go to search for things. So, you know, you want to optimize them afterwards and get the SEO that we talked about earlier.
Can I interject for a minute here?
Please.
Can you relate for them? Because I'm not sure everybody knows the connection between Blab and Periscope and Twitter. #1. And #2, I wanted to mention that, you know, these are great links for you guys to put on your media kits as well for authors. And, you know, these are all ways that you can get yourself known better as well. You can embed these into your own websites for people to watch. So there are so many uses to repurpose this content.
Absolutely. That is a big part of leveraging. And what I say to people is, every time you do a live stream broadcast that gets recorded, you have created an asset for your business. Now that asset can be, you know, repurposed in multiple ways. One of the ways is to put it into book format, even an ebook format. Another way is, of course, to put them onto your blogs, take snippets out. And we're going to talk about this right now, but let me answer your question first there, Juliet. How are Blab and Periscope related? They are products of Twitter. So, you know, you got a whole different audience on Twitter, don't you? And now the public is going to have live stream available on Facebook. So there becomes a whole nother market for you. So you've got Hangouts on air that are intertwined with Google and YouTube, and you have Blab and Periscope that are products of Twitter, and very soon live streaming from Facebook. So lots of ways to reach your audience. Okay, so let's talk about some things you can do to promote and monetize using these platforms. One of my favorite ways, the top on my list, is to, once you learn this, is to create a quick tip expert series. So, you know, I have Hangout Mentor quick tips. I worked with a man last year, and he did metabolic quick tips because he was a weight loss coach. So he did metabolic quick tips. I've got a gal who's doing, you know, dating for true love tips. All of these tips are easy for you to produce because you don't have to go out to the audience initially. You just get onto a Hangout on air, go live, but you're only recording with yourself. You're the only audience. And then that gets downloaded to YouTube, and you now have a series of quick tips. And by quick tips, I mean 5 to 10 minutes max. People are busy. What we're doing right now is a long presentation, but most of the time what you want is quick little tips that people can take action on, that again brand you and get people connected to you as the expert, the person to follow in your area of expertise. So think about creating quick tips.
Virginia,
yes.
Can I add in here too? One of the things that we're doing at Winsome Media with these quick tips and things like this is we're now encouraging all of our authors to produce interactive books. So you can put the link to your YouTube in there, or a QR code if you have a hardcover book or a softcover book. And what that does is not only connects the people to the material in your book, but if they choose to click on the link, they see you live. They see how personable you are. They see your mannerisms, your personality, and it really helps connect you to the reader. So that's when you're talking about quick tips, that's a great way for you to build rapport and trust with your readers.
Great ideas. So yeah, you've got the tools and the technology now available to you to bring these links to something that you've created using these live stream platforms. So I think that's a terrific idea, Julia. Thank you for sharing that. And the other thing that people aren't realizing, they think, oh, I have to broadcast. No, you don't have to broadcast. You can use it to create trainings and courses. All of my courses and trainings are created using Hangouts on Air. Every one of them. They get the live video with me where they can interact and ask questions. It becomes an evergreen product afterwards. I put together videos for them. I put together checklists. I put together handouts that they can use in conjunction with it. But the bulk of the training happens using Hangout on Air platform. You can also create masterminds. It's a great way to get a group of 10 together and have an elite mastermind. You can do seminars, you can do workshops, anything that you can think of where you can connect with each other online. Think about how you can create it into some form of training. And how about growing a list of loyal followers? For sure. Think about being a show host, but I don't recommend that as the first thing you do. That throws people into a tizzy and says, oh my God, this is way too much for me. No, just think about creating a series of expert tips to start with. But down the road, maybe you want to consider being a show host around your area of expertise. Now, you could be a show host and do just a series of maybe a show of 6 shows. And it's a series, and then the series is done until next season. Or you can do what I do, which is do a show every week. So it just depends on what your aspirations are, but there's many ways to actually create a show. It doesn't have to be always continuous. Authority and recognition, offer yourself to be interviewed on shows such as my own. And that's something that I always look forward to. So if you're interested in being on my own show, go to hangoutmarketingyou.com and then put a / by it, and it's IBWS for Inspirational Business Women Show. hangoutmarketingyou.com / IBWS, and you can learn more about the show, and there's actually an application there so you can apply to be a guest on my show. I'd love to hear from you. So look for ways that you can be interviewed. That's very critical. Host a summit. Now, these are becoming more and more popular. A Hangout summit where you collaborate and you create a lot of joint venture collaborations and partnerships, and you bring them onto the summit via Hangouts. So much better interaction and engagement for your summit than if you're doing webinars. Just another idea for you. Testimonials. Do not forget testimonials. I gather most all of my testimonials through videos, and the videos are done mostly through Hangouts on Air. So get your testimonials that way. There's nothing more valuable than to have a video testimonial. And I already referenced that you might want to consider writing an ebook. That's right. Go ahead and record a series of your best tips, right? Maybe you're going to do 6 to 8 tips. You're going to do an intro hangout for about 5 to 10 minutes talking about what this series is about, giving them the outline on it. You're going to do the series of 6 to 8 tips over a period of weeks. And at the end, you're going to summarize everything. Just take all of those and get them transcribed, turn them into an ebook, and you've got the ebook published. And isn't it easier to talk about your expertise sometimes than to write about it? What do you think about that, Juliet?
No, unmute. I was just writing over in the Facebook group. I love that idea. I usually tell people to use their phone and do it when they're in the car, but if, because that's spare time, it's downtime. But this is a great idea too. You send it over to someone to transcribe and your book is basically written. You just add a little bit here and there.
That's exactly right. So we took the whole hour up with all these ideas and strategies, and I hope you found some good tips that you're going to go and apply in your own life. What I wanted to do is you do, Juliet, check and see if there's any more questions. I'm going to show people where they can also follow me. I have several places. If you want to check out my blabs, you can follow me at blab.im, VEP Hypnocoach. That's my old Twitter handle because I was doing hypnotherapy and life coaching. You also can catch my Periscopes by going to Periscope at VEP Hypnocoach. Just, follow me. I'd love that. Twitter, I am Hangout Mentor at Twitter, so I'd love it if you would follow me there. Facebook, again, if you want to get on my Facebook page, go ahead and like that and follow it at Hangout Mentor. And if you follow me on Hangout Mentor there, I'm also going to be setting up a new group, all for live stream broadcasters, so I can help support you and encourage you and give you an opportunity to share with everyone else the broadcasts that you have coming up. So look for that if you go like Hangout Mentor. And again, you can look me up on YouTube at Virginia Parsons and see a lot of my past shows. And then don't forget that if you want to, you can download the Hangout Mentor app. But Juliet, I have another gift for people. Remember, we talked about this. Do you want to say anything about it before I do the ta-da?
No, I think it's a great gift. Before you do that, we do have some questions. Do you want to introduce the free gift or the question?
No, let's do the questions and then hang around for the free gift. It's worth it, believe me.
Okay. Dazaz Daniel is asking if there is a PDF someplace where you have a lot of this information. Do you have anything like that on your website?
I have loads of information on my website. So the first gift, you're getting two gifts here today. The first gift you're getting is if you go to hangoutmarketingu.com, there's a free checklist there. And the checklist is all about the different ways you can use live stream broadcasting to get the word out and to promote yourself. So go get that. It's real easy to download, and it is a check. I'm a big one on checklists. Like, how do I remember all this stuff? Get a checklist. And with all the different courses that I have offered there, they all come with checklists. They come with to-do sheets. Everything that I do gives you several different ways to take the material in and make it your own. So go to hangoutmarketingu.com and pick up that Hangout live stream checklist. Any other questions?
Yay. I think that was it, unless I missed some.
Okay. Well, let me go to another screen here. This is the backdrop for my Inspirational Business Women Show. And this gift is powerful. I really can't emphasize enough how powerful this gift is. It is totally free because it's a gift, right? And it is an assessment. And this assessment won't take you long. I've really thought through it in a way that helps you determine what your skill set and knowledge base is right now in using these live stream platforms. And it gives you an opportunity when you go through the checklist to start to understand, oh, these are some of the things I'd like to know more about. So it rates you to let you know where you stand in that area. And as I say, it will only take about 5 minutes. And to take it, all you have to do is text the word success and text it to the number 307-269-2040. Or if you prefer, you can go to hangout-marketing.com and take it that way. But the easiest way is just pick up your phone and text success, and I will respond right back to you. And then right there on your phone, you'll be able to do the assessment. Now, you might qualify for what I call a shine strategy session with me. I do not give these away haphazardly. These are powerful sessions. These are content-rich sessions. These are not sales sessions. These are an opportunity for you to really talk to me and to understand what your business is about, what your goals and aspirations are, and what I recommend you use, the platforms I recommend you use, and how I recommend you use them to get out there and gain that expert status quickly. Because it's different for different people and for different programs and for different niches. So you might qualify for that. It just depends. Take the assessment and see where you rank. And if you qualify, it's a $300 value appointment with me, one-on-one appointment. And I'd love to be able to give that to you. And if you don't qualify the first time around, go back in and take the assessment again a few weeks later, and then maybe you will qualify as well. Julia?
Awesome. Yes, thank you so much. That is a great gift. And I took the assessment last week, and I actually was a little better than I thought, but not where I want to be.
Yeah. Well, as a result of taking the assessment, if you don't qualify for an assessment, you will receive other information from me that will suggest here's the next best step for you. So don't feel bad if you don't qualify. quite yet for the Shine Strategy session, just know that the assessment is going to give you lots of good information.
Great. Thank you so much. And thank you for this great information. I'm sure this is going to be a big replay because there's just so much info. You've got to go through it a couple times to really get a lot of benefit from it. So thank you very much.
You are so welcome. Thank you, everyone, again, for joining us, whether or not you joined us here live. I love it that you took the time. I know your time is valuable. If you watch it in replay, thank you as well. Contact me if you have any questions. Leave comments or questions in the comments section, and I'll be sure to get back to you. So, Juliet, I want to thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to share my passion with all of your followers.
Great. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye now.
Bye.